Hello, and welcome back to the Damn Yankee Blacksmith. Today we're going to talk about starting a fire the old-fashioned way. We're going to use char cloth, a steel, and flint. But we have to back up. You can't just jump into it and start striking and expect people to be able to do it. So we're going to go back up and tell you how to make the char cloth, how to make the steel, and how to find the flint. All right, here I'm going to adjust this camera down, and you can see the first thing we need to make char cloth is denim. I use old blue jeans. You can use old t-shirts. The key to it is 100% cotton. You can't have anything else in there, otherwise it's not going to work. You cut it into cubes, little 1.25, 1.5 inch squares. You have a tin like this. Some people use shoe polish tins, whatever. It has to have a restricted airflow. A kiwi can does good because it has a little hole in the top. Take the tape off. Now, once you take this, you toss it right onto a fire and get it hot. Leave it hot, you'll see smoke, and the smoke will burn. You will have a fire running outside the edges. After you cook that for a while, and the smoke goes away, then you take it out of the fire, and inside you will have char cloth. Char cloth is the base of your fire. It's what you're going to start it with. Then you find rope. This is sisal rope. You can find it at any hardware store. It's also known as really cheap rope. 30 cents per foot. You're not going to use a lot of it. You chop it into a little strands, and you uncoil those strands, and you will get a little fast burning flash material. Just uncoil it, and there you go. This is very fibrous. Everything should be kept dry, by the way. And you're going to leave that on top of your fire, or where you want to start the fire. Now you're going to build this under a house of pine needles. Build yourself up. If you're building a campfire or a forge, in my case, you build a little house over the top of it of pine needles. Make a little cave where you can stick this stuff in there. And if you have lighter pine, this is pine heart, lighter pine, sapwood. It's got a lot of different names, but it's where the sap of the pine goes to the heart of the wood, and it is inundated with sap, which burns readily. So you shave it, and you can leave that on top of your flash material. That's going to give you enough to start your kindling. Now, if I was to put pine needles over the top of that, I would have a fire on a wooden table. Not the smartest place to make a fire. We're going to do it inside this tin right here as a demonstration purpose. The real blacksmithing in making a fire comes from the steel. You have to use a high carbon steel. You can have this either the flat side out, or you can turn it. I've got both. I use them both. Doesn't matter. You clean off one edge. Try not to hit your knuckles. There are some people that will put the char cloth right on their hand, and they will strike like that, and it starts the char cloth in your hand. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I prefer to put everything down there, use excessive amounts of char cloth, because you don't want to have to do this over again. Now, when you use flint, which is in America, we mostly have chert, but there are places where you can get flint. Any place that has a gypsum mine will have flint near it. They're both in the quartz family, and when they hit steel, they spark. I don't know if you can see those sparks, but what we're going to do is we're going to move that over to here. I'm going to move the camera up. And we're going to try and get a better view of this. Let's find something. We'll just put the knife under the back side here. We'll see if that gives us enough of a look. All right. And we are going to try and spark into that char cloth. And we have fire that quickly. The char cloth is not even done. Couple of pointers. If you start the char cloth and you don't really, if you start it burning and you don't need to use it all, do not put it back in with your char cloth because it does not go out. It may look like it's out. But it is anything but out. Now, if I would have had pine needles here, that would have flared up and we would have had a fire. That's the first part of making your own kit. Next time, we'll talk about how to make a steel or a striker, depending on who you are and what you call it. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you later.